Hello friends, welcome to my channel Clinical Biochemistry by Dr. P.K. Prabhakar. Today we are going to talk about the metabolism of the remaining part of the lipoproteins. So those remaining parts are VLDL, LDL and IDL. That is abbreviated forms. Otherwise we are calling it very low density lipoproteins, and intermediate density lipoproteins. So first we should understand what is VLDL. This VLDL is a lipoproteins. If you'll see this few characteristic feature of VLDL, so it is similar to chylomicron only, but there are certain differences because chylomicron has the lowest density and the largest size. This is just density wise it is having low density, but not as less as the chylomicron is having. It is having slightly higher density than the chylomicron. Chylomicron density was less than 0.995, but the density of VLDL is more than 95 and up to 1.006 gram per ml. So it is having low density but slightly higher than the chylomicron. As its density is more than chylomicron, so its size is let's sorry, this is wrong. So it's because its density is slightly higher than the chylomicron, so size is slightly lower than the chylomicron. Chylomicron size was 100 to 1000 nanometer, but size of VLDL is 30 to 80 nanometer. So if you see the size and the density was higher than the chylomicron, so size is lower than the chylomicron. Sorry. Then as density increases, so because it is because of protein. So protein content, as we have seen in case of chylomicron, protein content was only 1 to 2%, but here protein content is roughly 8 to 10%. So as protein content increases, its density increases, and density increases means size decreases. So 8 to 10% is protein, so remaining 90 to 92% is lipid content. Out of this 90 to 92% lipid content, triglyceride and cholesterol ester constitute of roughly 50% of the lipid content. This chylomicron is having some, so similar to other lipoproteins also, this is also having a core component. Core component means central component. Central component is composed of mainly triglyceride, and it is having cholesterol ester also. And at the periphery it is having, similar to chylomicron, it is having phospholipids, cholesterol, and some protein component that is called as apoprotein or apolipoprotein. Now we'll see what are those important apolipoproteins. So first it is having apoprotein A1, apoprotein, then A2, then A4, and the most important apoprotein it is having, that is B100. In the case of chylomicron, I have told you chylomicron is having B48. The 48 and 100 is just how much percentage of B gene it is having. Like this is the B gene. So this gene gives a protein that is called as B protein. If this whole protein of 100% means total protein is present in the apoprotein, it is called as B100. If it is constitute only 48%, it is called as B48. So in case of chylomicron, it is 48% of the B protein, whereas in case of VLDL or LDL or IDL, it is 100%. So that it is B100. Other than that one, it is also having C2, C3, and apoprotein E. All these apoproteins is having their own significance. Like in case of C2, it is going to activate lipoprotein lipase LPL. This is going to deactivate lipoprotein lipase. And apoprotein C is the binding. It provides the ligand. It works as a ligand or increases the affinity for B100, which binds with the hepatocytes. We'll see this one further. So similar to chylomicron, there are we have already seen it. There are three different type of metabolic process for lipoproteins we are having. One is called as endogenous pathway. Second one is called as exogenous pathway, and third one is called as reverse cholesterol transportation. So total there are three different kind of lipid transportation we are having. One is from intestine to the tissue. Second one is from liver to the tissue, and third one is from tissue back to the liver. So this is whatever diet we are taking, whatever lipid we are taking into our diet, whatever lipid we are taking into our food, that is coming into the intestine. So from intestine in the form of chylomicron, it reaches to the tissue where it will be used. So this is through chylomicron. This is called as normal lipid transportation. Similarly, endogenous lipids, whatever lipid we are synthesizing in our body, so liver is the main site, main place where lipids will be synthesized. So from liver to the tissue, that will be transported in the form of VLDL, then IDL, and then LDL. So this is again endogenous lipid transportation. So this is for exogenous and this is for endogenous. And then one kind of transportation we are having where tissue, from tissue cholesterol or lipid will be transported back to the liver. This is just opposite to the normal movement. So this is called as reverse cholesterol transportation. So there are three different kind of lipid transportation we are having: exogenous, endogenous, and reverse cholesterol transportation. Now, in case of VLDL metabolism, there are few points we should remember it. So these are the different steps how VLDL processes, how VLDL metabolism or how VLDL metabolic process occurs. The first step is the formation of VLDL or assembly of nascent VLDL. So whenever VLDL synthesized, that is immature VLDL, that synthesis occurs inside the liver. So this nascent VLDL synthesis occurs in the liver where triglyceride, cholesterol, not in the form of cholesterol but cholesterol esters, combines with B100 and again that same protein MTPP. So that triglyceride, cholesterol and B100 combine together and gives us nascent VLDL. So this is immature VLDL. When this immature VLDL come into the secretion, come into the blood circulations, there it gets some kind of apoproteins, especially C2 and E from HDL. So nascent VLDL gets C2 and E from HDL and becomes mature. So nascent plus C2, C3 plus E equal to mature VLDL. So this you should remember it, you should understand it. Once this maturation occurs, because now it is having C2, this ApoC2 works as the activator of lipoprotein lipase. This lipoprotein lipase enzyme, will say one few points of on lipoprotein lipase. So just remember this lipoprotein lipase is an enzyme which is associated with endothelial cells, and this lipoprotein lipase is going to be activated by ApoC2. So C2 is the activator of LPL. This LPL lipoprotein lipase, once it will be activated because of this C2, it metabolizes this triglyceride. So some of the triglyceride of VLDL is going to be metabolized. So triglyceride will metabolize and convert it into free fatty acids plus glycerol, and free fatty acid is going to the tissue and glycerol goes back to the liver. So now this mature VLDL minus some Tg, and once this metabolic process occurs, so C2 has finished their work. Now this C2 will go back to the HDL. So only C2 and C3 goes back to the HDL. So matured VLDL minus Tg minus C2 minus C3 is called as intermediate density lipoprotein. Still it is having B100, it is having E, it is having A1, A2, A4, plus it is having cholesterol and some amount of triglyceride. So this is ideal. So first we had nascent VLDL, then we had a mature VLDL, and now we are having ideal. Still this ideal, slowly during the process, either it will go to the liver where it will binds with B100. This ideal binds with LDL receptor, which is present on the liver hepatocytic cells. So ideal goes to the liver for the reprocessing, and binds to this LDL receptor. So this is a receptor. So ligand is B100. This B100's affinity is very high because it is having ApoE. So ApoE function is to increase the affinity of B100. So this IDL is having two options. Either it will be converted into LDL or it will go back to the liver. So this goes to liver, binds with LDL receptor via this B100 because of E, its affinity is very high, so it binds and reprocessed. That is one way. Second way is this IDL is converted back to the in the process of on the same process it will be converted into LDL, so low density lipoprotein. How this will be converted? This IDL is going to lose some more triglyceride plus it lose this E. So IDL minus some triglycerides and ApoE makes them convert into LDL. So nascent to mature VLDL, mature to IDL, IDL to LDL. So this LDL again it is having two sides, two fate. Either it will go to the tissue or it will go to the liver. Still this LDL is having B100. So B100 is the ligand for this LDL receptor, but this B100's affinity is very less. Why affinity is very less? Because now E is not there. So ApoE is not there, so its affinity is less. So this LDL is going to the either to the liver and metabolized and reprocessed, or it will go back to the tissue where tissue will reabsorb it, intake it, and then take it from there and metabolize it. So that is LDL metabolic process. So now we'll see some of the pictures. Like this is liver. Liver is having ApoB100, importantly, triglyceride, cholesterol ester. So it forms, combines, and gives us nascent VLDL. So which is having B100, it is having triglyceride, it is having cholesterol ester. This nascent VLDL gets ApoC2, ApoC3, and ApoE from HDL and converted into VLDL. So now it is having 100 C2, C3, ApoE, triglyceride, and cholesterol ester. Because of this C2, it activates lipoprotein lipase. So lipoprotein lipases metabolize this triglyceride into free fatty acids and glycerol. So free fatty acid will be taken by the muscles and adipose tissue, and glycerol will go back to the liver for gluconeogenesis and other processes. This VLDL, which from which triglyceride has been metabolized, so now this VLDL is having less triglyceride, and in the process it loses its CE, cholesterol, C2, C3, and some of the triglyceride already lost. So this is converted into IDL. This IDL is also called as VLDL remnant, like chylomicron remnant we had. Now this IDL is having two options because it is having 100 and it is having E. So this B100 is going to work as a ligand for this LDL receptor. It goes to the liver and reprocess it, or it will go back to convert into LDL. The LDL IDL is going to be metabolized by processed by some of the hepatic lipase. So some more triglyceride has been digested here, and in this process it loses ApoE as well. So it is having only 100. So this LDL is having two options. Either it will go to the tissue or it will go to the liver. So as much as time LDL will be in the circulations, that much that is means if it will stay more time in the blood circulation, it will be more complicated because the chances of oxidation of LDL is more. So if oxidation of LDL will take place, it will be more reactive. It will be more dangerous to cause atherosclerosis and other diseases. So that's why LDL should be metabolized as fast as possible. This is the same process, same pictorial things in other way. Liver, where we are having this component converted into nascent VLDL gets C2 and E from HDL converted into VLDL. This VLDL C2 is going to activate LPL, lipoprotein lipase, which works on this one. Some of the triglyceride will be metabolized and it will lose C2 first and convert into IDL. This IDL is going back either to the liver and binds liver and processed, or it will be converted into LDL with the activity of hepatic lipase. Hepatic lipase works there and C will be lost and it will convert to LDL. So LDL is having two options: either it will go to the tissue or it will be converted, go back to the liver. So this is the whole metabolic process of VLDL, IDL, and LDL. Now, if I will concentrate only on exogenous means whatever we have synthesized, whatever we have got in the dietary lipid. So think this dietary lipid has cholesterol, triglyceride, or cholesterol. So we are going to consider both. This dietary lipid, cholesterol and triglyceride, has been converted into this nascent chylomicron and then chylomicron. So we are having triglyceride and cholesterol. In the pathway, LPL works on this triglyceride, metabolizes triglyceride, gives free fatty acids which will be used by muscles and adipose tissue. But still, this chylomicron is having all the cholesterol. Triglyceride has been metabolized maximum. Now this chylomicron remnant goes and to the liver for reprocessing. So here we are having that cholesterol, whatever we have taken into the dietary. So this dietary cholesterol came into the liver. Now this cholesterol will be used for the formation of VLDL. So this cholesterol came here. And now again same processing will occurs for the endogenous cholesterol. It's going. So LPL will walks. Triglyceride it is having which liver synthesized. It will be metabolized here and goes back and it convert to IDL. IDL go to the liver or it will convert into LDL and then it is having two options either to the tissue or to the liver. This is whole metabolic process for endogenous and exogenous. I want to say that if we are having triglyceride, so triglyceride maximum has been metabolized at this level and goes to the tissue. But if you are having cholesterol in your diet, it is going to process through both the process simultaneously. So cholesterol has to first go through the exogenous pathway, goes back to the liver, and then through endogenous pathway it reaches to the tissue. So cholesterol processed both pathway at the same time to reach to the tissue. Now if you see the composition, different composition, how VLDL is different from IDL and IDL is different from LDL and how these different from remnant VLDL, nascent VLDL. So this is nascent VLDL which is having triglyceride, cholesterol, and mainly it is having A1, A2, A3 and B100. If you see the nascent VLDL converted into mature VLDL once it gets C2, C3 and E from HDL. So it is having triglyceride already there, cholesterol is there. It got mainly these two from the HDL and converted into VLDL. This VLDL is converted into IDL because this C2 activates LPL lipoprotein lipase. This works on this triglyceride, digested triglyceride. So some only less amount of triglyceride is left there. After this one, it loses its C component. So it is having less triglyceride, cholesterol, A1 to A4 it is having, B100 is there and E is there but no C. So it loses C and it converted into IDL. This IDL is converted into LDL by hepatic lipase, hepatic lipoprotein lipase. So this hepatic lipase digests some more triglyceride from here. So triglyceride is again decreases and here it loses E component apoprotein E also. So it does not have apoprotein. So the apoprotein which LDL is having, that is almost equal to the nascent VLDL or immature VLDL. So there are few points you need to remember that ApoB100 incorporation at this level. So this B100 incorporation into the nascent VLDL requires a protein. That protein is MTTP. MTTP means microsomal triglyceride transfer protein, MTP. Microsomal 3G transfer protein. Same protein was required in the case of chylomicron also for the incorporation of B48. So if you'll see here, In case of IDL and LDL, here E is there and 100 is there. This 100 will bind to LDL receptor, but this increases its efficiency. In case of LDL, it does not have E, so its efficiency is very less. So that is here the presence of ApoB100 protein allow LDL to recognized by LDL receptor, which is present on the hepatocytes. But LDL does not have ApoE, so its affinity is very less than the IDL. This LDL receptor is also sometimes called as ApoB100 and ApoE receptor. ApoE is just a activator facilitator, but it binds with B100. The longer the LDL remains into the blood circulations, the chances of its oxidation is that much. If LDL will be oxidized, it is oxidized LDL, and that is that much complicated, that much dangerous to cause cardiovascular disease or some other complications. So there are some insulin, some hormones like insulin and triiodothyronine or thyroxines, which increases the binding of LDL to liver cells. Means the LDL will be removed from the circulation. So chances of getting cardiovascular disease is less because of insulin and T3. Whereas some other hormones like glucocorticoids, which is antagonistic to insulin, so they have opposite effect, means they intend to increase the chances of oxidized LDL because they insist LDL to be remained into the circulations. So insulin and T3 decreases the chances of cardiovascular diseases, whereas glucocorticoids increases the chances of cardiovascular disease. Now something about the lipoprotein lipase. The enzyme lipoprotein lipase is present in capillary wall of adipose tissue, cardiac tissue, skeletal muscles, and some other tissue also. It hydrolyzes portion of triglyceride or triacylglycerol, which is present in chylomicron and VLDL. So it is present in chylomicron and VLDL and liberates free fatty acid and glycerol. Free fatty acid to the tissue and glycerol to the liver. This lipoprotein lipase LPL is activated by ApoC2, which is coming from HDL, and it is inactivated by C3. As the triglyceride of chylomicron and VLDL is degraded, they lose their C2 because C2's main function was to activate LPL. So once LPL has been activated and it has performed their function, so there is no requirement of C2. So C2 will be removed or it will be detached from the chylomicron remnant, that is normally remaining portion of chylomicron, and VLDL remnant, that is IDL. So C2 will be coming out and which is returned to the HDL. The chylomicron remnants are taken up by receptor present on the hepatocytes, that is called LDL receptor, and it binds with B48. Similarly, VLDL remnant, that is IDL, is taken by receptor present on the hepatocytes. Here it also binds with LDL receptor, but it binds with B100. So this is the same process but different, again pictorial. This is liver, which synthesizes nascent VLDL, which is a triglyceride chylomicrons. It gets ApoC and E from HDL. So HDL gives C and A. It is converted into VLDL, mature VLDL. This mature VLDL is going to be activated lipoprotein lipase, which is associated with the capillary walls. This lipoprotein lipase digests this triglyceride, convert them into IDL, that is VLDL remnant. So you have got triglyceride metabolized, that is fatty acid and glycerol. Glycerol go to the liver and fatty acid will be taken by the tissue. This IDL loses their ApoC, which goes to the HDL, and some hepatic lipase works on these triglycerides, metabolizes them, so no triglyceride is there, and Apo is also going back to the HDL. The remaining is only cholesterol, very less triglyceride, and B100 only. So that is called LDL. Now this LDL is having two options. Either it will go to the extrahepatic tissue other than hepatic tissue, where it will binds with LDL receptor or LRP receptors, or it will bind to the liver where LDL receptor we are having, and then it will be metabolized. Here it will be reprocessed, recycled. Here it will be metabolized, digested, and its component will be reused. So that's all for today. Hope you have understand the VLDL, IDL, and LDL metabolic processes. So next day we will talk about something else, HDL metabolic processes and some other components. If you have any query, any comments, you can write in the comment box. You can mail me. You can communicate with on the any of the channels which you mentioned here. So thank you. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.